Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel, the place where we unravel the most gripping and, at times, unsettling developments emerging from within the British monarchy. Today, we turn our focus to a deepening crisis, one that threatens not just the reputation of the House of Windsor, but the very legitimacy of the monarchy itself. This is not a mere scandal. It's an existential challenge being weaponized by those who believe the royal institution's time has come to an end. At the center of this storm stands Prince Andrew, the former Duke of York, and the growing wave of legal action being mobilized against him by the anti-monarchist organization known as Republic. What makes this situation especially alarming is that it's no longer confined to public outrage or political rhetoric. It's evolved into a direct confrontation over the principle of legal equality in the United Kingdom. Before we dive into the shocking new details of this investigation, and the reportedly stern advice Prince Andrew has received from inside the palace, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our in-depth coverage of royal affairs. Now to what Republic is calling their gauntlet to the throne. For years, Prince Andrew's scandals have been an unrelenting source of embarrassment for the monarchy, eroding public trust and giving critics all the ammunition they could ask for. But now, the opposition has taken things further. Republic is no longer content with symbolic protests. They have engaged a team of specialized legal experts to meticulously examine every angle of the allegations surrounding Andrew, a move that lays the foundation for potential private legal action. This is a historic moment. If successful, their initiative could shatter a centuries-old precedent, challenging the idea that members of the royal family exist beyond the reach of standard criminal accountability. Graham Smith, the CEO of Republic, has been unflinching in his criticism. He argues that the mere need for a private organization to pursue justice reveals deep flaws in Britain's institutions, from law enforcement to the monarchy itself. He stated, "If not us, then who?" It's a devastating indictment on the UK's criminal justice system, police, and politicians, not to mention the king and his heir, that we must resort to a private prosecution. It's a striking claim, one that resonates with growing public frustration, the belief that privilege shields the powerful from consequences. Smith went further, underscoring the democratic principle at stake. It should concern everyone that so many believe rightly, in my view, that the royals are not treated equally in law. Equality before the law is the foundation of democracy. And that is the crux of the matter. This is no longer about guilt or innocence. It's about whether the system itself bends to protect those born into royal privilege. The scope of Republic's investigation is vast, and the allegations being examined by their legal team are nothing short of explosive. These go well beyond the previously reported civil matters, entering territory with potentially serious criminal implications. Among the areas under scrutiny are historic accusations of sexual assault, as well as claims of corruption and misconduct during Prince Andrew's time in public office. It's important to emphasize that Prince Andrew, now 60 years old, has consistently and firmly denied every allegation throughout this long and painful saga. Still, the pursuit of justice has encountered formidable obstacles. The Metropolitan Police previously reviewed elements of these allegations and ultimately concluded that the evidence did not meet the threshold required for a formal criminal investigation. That decision, while official, has done little to silence critics or to satisfy Republic, which views the conclusion as another failure of accountability. Graham Smith, the CEO of Republic, has made his disagreement crystal clear. He insists the evidence is strong enough to warrant a full, transparent, and independent inquiry, declaring, "I firmly believe there is sufficient evidence to justify a serious investigation." He went on to express a deep-seated suspicion shared by many observers, that authorities and politicians alike are turning a blind eye in an effort to quietly bury the matter. The authorities seem eager to look the other way, downplaying the accusations, but the truth must prevail, and justice must be seen to be done. This sentiment lies at the heart of Republic's unprecedented campaign. The group views their private legal initiative as a direct challenge to the state's unwillingness to act, calling the failure of formal prosecution a profound dereliction of duty. And now, the mounting legal and public pressure has led to decisive movement within palace walls. In what many interpret as a damage control maneuver, King Charles III and senior royal aides have reportedly advised Prince Andrew to vacate Royal Lodge, his longtime residence and one of the most recognizable royal estates. But this is not merely a change of address. It appears to be a strategic retreat designed to remove Andrew from the spotlight amid intensifying protests and the looming specter of legal action. A palace insider described the situation with stark urgency, saying, "Andrew has been advised to change his surroundings. This isn't only about optics, it's also about his mental well-being." Behind those words lies a portrait of a man under immense pressure, torn between loyalty to his family and the crushing weight of scandal. The same source added, "He's deeply anxious about the future. For himself, his daughters, and the royal family's reputation." And most telling of all, whispers within the palace now hint at new claims surfacing, suggesting that Republic's ongoing investigation may already be uncovering fresh and troubling evidence. The decision to urge Prince Andrew to leave Royal Lodge, once a proud symbol of his senior royal status, marks a defining moment in his slow and painful descent from grace. It underscores the reality that he has now become a liability too great to remain within the monarchy's immediate circle. But what has truly shocked royal watchers is the next chapter, the intrigue of his unknown destination. According to several reports, the Duke is said to be considering travel abroad, possibly to a discreet, undisclosed location, far from the relentless glare of British media and the ever-tightening noose of legal scrutiny. This raises pressing and uncomfortable questions. Where could a disgraced former royal possibly go to escape both international attention and the reach of the law? Some close observers believe that such a move points toward a country with limited extradition treaties, or a jurisdiction where wealth and influence can still buy privacy, a haven that offers distance, discretion, and a chance to disappear. Within Andrew's inner circle, the mood is one of palpable fear. The looming threat of a private prosecution, coupled with unending tabloid pressure, has convinced some advisors that total retreat, even isolation, may be the only path toward personal and legal survival. For King Charles III, this situation represents a delicate balancing act. He must appear as a compassionate brother while simultaneously shielding the crown from the fallout of Andrew's scandals. Keeping his brother visible and within Britain's royal orbit would only inflame anti-monarchist voices, particularly those of Republic, whose campaign gains power every time Andrew's name resurfaces. By quietly encouraging Andrew to step away from public view, and possibly even from the country itself, the king is effectively quarantining the scandal, pushing it beyond the walls of Buckingham Palace, and, with luck, beyond the reach of domestic political fire. But for anti-monarchist campaigners, this saga is a political gift. Prince Andrew's alleged misconduct, and the perception that he has been shielded by systemic privilege, provides the perfect weapon to use against the institution itself. Republic's long-standing argument is simple yet potent, that the monarchy is inherently undemocratic, built upon the notion that one family stands above the laws governing everyone else. Andrew's downfall offers them a real-world example that reinforces this very claim. When Graham Smith, the head of Republic, condemns the failures of police and politicians to act, his message cuts deeper than a legal critique. It's a moral indictment of power, inherited rather than earned. And in an era when public consciousness is increasingly shaped by conversations about privilege, accountability, and equality, that narrative resonates powerfully. For King Charles III, the challenge is existential. His reign depends on preserving the monarchy's modern, service-oriented image, one of restraint, transparency, and relevance. Yet, every time Prince Andrew's name re-emerges in connection with allegations of corruption or sexual assault, that image fractures. The actions of one man have become a shadow over the entire institution, revealing the inherent fragility of a system built on inheritance, not merit. The fact that the Metropolitan Police declined to pursue a full criminal investigation remains a cornerstone of Republic's case proof. They argue that royal privilege still shields the powerful from the rule of law. At the heart of this unfolding drama lies a profound and deeply symbolic question. What happens when the state refuses to act? According to Graham Smith and the campaigners at Republic, if Britain's institutions are too cautious, too deferential, or too compromised to uphold justice, then it becomes the duty of the people themselves to step in. This is the very essence of private prosecution, a citizen-led attempt to force accountability when the establishment hesitates. And in the context of the British monarchy, it is nothing short of revolutionary. The evidence that Smith refers to, the material he claims, is strong enough to justify a serious investigation, remains shrouded in secrecy. Whether it relates to the original sexual assault allegations, or to new intelligence surrounding financial misconduct and abuse of power during Andrew's years as a trade envoy, it is now being carefully reconstructed by Republic's team of legal specialists. What is clear, however, is that their findings could have far-reaching consequences, not just for Prince Andrew, but for the entire constitutional fabric of the United Kingdom. The situation facing Prince Andrew has evolved beyond the realm of personal scandal. It is now fast becoming a constitutional crisis, one driven not by Parliament or the press, but by a determined civilian movement wielding the instruments of law itself. The former Duke of York finds himself besieged on two fronts. Internally, he faces a quiet exile, urged by his own family to vacate the royal lodge and vanish from public life. Externally, he confronts the relentless advance of Republic's legal offensive, with its sights set squarely on allegations of sexual assault, corruption, and misconduct in public office. Andrew's continued denials, though unwavering, are now dwarfed by the scale and gravity of what surrounds him. Behind palace walls, the advice for him to change his surroundings and seek temporary refuge abroad speaks volumes about the depth of the crisis and the palace's desperation to contain it. But evasion, even exile, does not erase the threat. It only delays the inevitable. Graham Smith has made the group's stance unmistakably clear. They will not be silent, and they will not stand down. For Republic, this is no longer about one man's alleged wrongdoing. It is a test of whether the most sacred pillar of democracy, equality before the law, truly applies to everyone, even those born into the highest ranks of society. And so, the question now shifts from Prince Andrew himself to King Charles III, a monarch caught between family loyalty and the need to uphold justice. Can the monarchy survive if it is seen to exist beyond the reach of the law? It is a question that echoes far beyond Buckingham Palace, one that will shape the public's faith in both the crown and the country's institutions for years to come. Do you agree with Graham Smith that the justice system has failed to act impartially, forcing ordinary citizens to seek justice where the state would not? Or do you believe that Prince Andrew is being unfairly targeted by those who wish to see the monarchy abolished altogether? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more in-depth royal coverage as this unprecedented chapter in royal history continues to unfold.